Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Wait a minute. Am I echoing? Am I echoing? I'm echoing. All right, I'm not echoing no more. There we go. I'm not echoing no more. I'm not echoing no more, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened. It has happened, ladies and gentlemen. It has happened. One Hubert Bartholomew James Randolph Freeze has been fired after 3 seasons as the head coach of Auburn football. One Hugh Freeze has been let go and relieved of his duties as the head football coach of the Auburn Tigers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is news that we have been officially waiting to say. It has happened. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. The end is here. There it is. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the last picture that you see of one Hubert Freeze walking off of Jordan Hare Stadium at Pat Dye Field. Cameras around him, surrounded by Alabama State troopers. Hugh Freeze is no longer the head coach of the Auburn Tigers football team. Dustin and I did a show this morning over on the Uptempo podcast. We were waiting for this to officially drop. We waited for like an hour and 35, 40 minutes for this official.
Strung it out.
We strung it out. And literally when we got off, Dustin texted me, was like, I think it just happened. I was like, I think I just got the same text message you get. Dustin. Yo.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, buddy.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling, Dustin?
Much better than our last conversation, friend. And look, full disclosure for anybody who hasn't ever heard me speak on this. Look, I wanted Hugh Freeze to work. I want anybody that Auburn hires to work out. Obviously, he's an Auburn fan. But in particular, I wanted it just there to be the redemption story. Man, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I don't judge men for their mistakes. Unless they're just egregious, right? But like, I want to give everybody a chance. I saw a redemption story arc in Bruce Pearl with the Auburn basketball program, and I wanted to see that on the football side of things. I also thought that because of the public nature, because of the way that Hugh Freeze was drugged, because of his prior mistakes at Ole Miss whenever Auburn hired him, I thought Auburn was going to get a version of Hugh Freeze like they got in Bruce Pearl, because Bruce Pearl was fired up. He was ready to prove to Auburn, you made the right decision by putting your neck out on the line here and going and getting me despite this show cause penalty and all that kind of stuff, correct? And then Bruce Pearl shows up at Auburn and does that. 2 Final Fours, greatest run in Auburn basketball history. Did I expect Hugh Freeze to maybe have that level of success at Auburn football? No, probably not. But I thought he'd be good. And I for sure thought that the effort was going to be that of I'm getting another chance in the SEC. I'm going to prove you MFers wrong. And very quickly it became obvious that wasn't the mindset that he was coming in with. Whoever that Hugh Freeze is, and that pregame speech back in the day when he's at Ole Miss versus Alabama, where he says, lock the gate, throw away the key, and let's see who wins this dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever that Hugh Freeze is, that's not the one that Auburn got consistently. And yeah, you just trying to make a change. If I had to think of one word to describe the Hugh Freeze era at Auburn, I would use the word goofy. I would say goofy. It was goofy. It didn't make any sense. The things he said all the time always had you going, wait, what? Well, that's okay. There was that weekly. This whole close thing for the past 7 weeks has just been ridiculous. So blaming Peyton Thorne, blaming Philip Montgomery, those guys leave. It looks more the same. It was obvious to a lot of us what the issue was. About halfway through last year, it became kind of clear. Everything that's happened this year has just kind of reiterated that. So goofy, man, a lot of missed opportunities. And I understand why you watched a bunch of one possession losses last year and you were hopeful that maybe this year the ball would bounce the other way. Sometimes guys are just losers. Sometimes they're not going to find out a way to get over that hump. And that Mamba mentality that Kobe made so famous, it wasn't in the head coach. That clutch gene. Look at how Kirby Smart conducts himself, and look at how his team acts in the fourth quarter of close ball games. Look at how Hugh Freeze has conducted himself, and look at how his team responds in close 4-quarter games in the SEC. It speaks for itself, man. So I did a lot of yelling and cussing at John Cohen this morning. I waited a little bit longer than I wanted you to, but we didn't even get to halftime of the NFL games, and we're doing this show now. So, okay.
That's it.
Okay. But we'll have the process gets handled from here. But I'll end it here, buddy. Look, players worked hard. There's a lot of assistant coaches in that room that have worked hard. I feel for a guy like Keldrick Falk, whose college career is basically over. And he, I don't say he wasted it because he's going to go on and be a high draft pick. He's a well-known name. Auburn took him to media days. He got a ton of pub. Like, there's in a lot of ways him coming to was successful. But in terms of wins and losses, it wasn't, obviously, and I hate that. And then on the offensive side of the ball, there are guys, Malcolm Simmons, Cam Coleman, we could go on and on, who aren't getting the wins, and also their talent has been wasted in this limited amount of time that they have. I hope that Auburn can get a guy in here that can convince them to stay and put them in position to be successful, and or I hope they go somewhere in the portal and find a way to be successful, because they've already wasted the majority of their eligibility here at Auburn in a bad system. And I just hate that, because these guys are talented. I'll never say Hugh Freeze was a bad recruiter. He got good recruits here. He's great at shopping for groceries, just no idea how to cook them. And my old lady would accuse me of the same. So look, it is what it is, man. But the right decision was made, and we talked about standard a lot today, Nick.
We did,
and I think that good on Auburn, good on John Cohen for saying that is unacceptable. That crap cannot be the standard.
Yep. As if you just joined the chat, and I'm pretty sure more people are gonna probably join the chat later on once they see what's going on. There it is, the final image of one Hugh Freeze walking off the field, the end. That's it, with the ellipses at the end. The end. The ellipses, to me, on this right here says a lot. It says a lot. What could have been, what wasn't, what should have been, but what we saw. It tells me a lot, man. That image right there, to me, sums up a season of just pure frustration and just not knowing what is the best way to manage a team moving forward. Tez, your thoughts, man. Your thoughts on this decision and this movement at this time. What is your thoughts on this?
Man, I'm trying to get through this without smiling from ear to ear. but but man, it's a it's warranted, like you anybody that's been watching this program had and seeing what the fans have been going through, seeing what we've been going through trying to make content about Auburn, um, knows that like this is warranted, bro. It's probably overdue. Uh
Mm-hmm.
this is what, year 3. He doesn't get to complete year 3. Um there's been a lot of talk about money and some of the reasons why they should, it's a lot of people I saw a lot of people on Twitter making the case that like, maybe you guys should just see this out. But the offensive ineptitude is just, I mean, it's been a fireable offense for the longest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're being truthfully, if we're being honest, this has been a fireable offense for quite some time, especially this season. I
Mm-hmm.
think like the referee situation and the missed calls kind of bought him a little bit of time, you know. Uh, and right. One thing I can say, like I just say, he's good for shopping and groceries. This guy can sell sand to the beach, and I think that's what you saw a lot of this season is he bought himself a ton of time that he didn't buy with like real money. It was monopoly money. He didn't produce offensively at all. Um, I'm interested to see what the offensive side of the ball looks like um in these upcoming games because there's still talent there. Um, and I know they respect DJ Durkin because he's been named the interim coach. So man, like I said, I'm trying not to just be super duper. It's a weird place, to be excited that your head coach just got the boot. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a weird feeling, man. But a lot like everybody, man. I wanted this to work. I really did. Like when he got hired, he wasn't my choice. Like I wouldn't have. That wasn't my first choice, Hugh Freeze. But like once he got here, I immediately started watching some old Miss film and like I was like, hey, with the talent, he's getting talent. This could work, right? This could work.
Mm-hmm.
This could at least be decent. He could give us that 10 games that he's given everybody else at every stop that he's been. Um, but I had to come to the reality that like, man, it's just not working out for whatever reason. A lot of people said his system is dated, but I see a lot of people running it just fine, putting up points, scoring touchdowns. So it seems like it's only dated at Auburn. But man, good for John Cohen. I think a lot of what you saw is not necessarily them doing the right thing, but I think he had to. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
no way this Kentucky game almost forced his hand. It's like whatever grace that he had was just at the point where Auburn fans, you got to understand, Auburn fans are, and you guys are Auburn fans, and everybody in the chat probably Auburn fans. We're such a loyal bunch of fans, man. Like y'all talked about it earlier. Like, yeah, they're kind of taking advantage of us, of that loyalty. At the point where Auburn fans are screaming, "Fire the coach" after a game, you have to take notice of that. You have to. You have to because last thing you want 40,000 people in the stands for a Mercer game and FBS schools sitting at 7-1 coming into your building and 40,000 people in the stands. So I think his hands was forced. I think, finally the fans did a good job of just making their voices known. And man, I'm I'm excited to see what comes up after this because I feel like we have some pieces in place that I mean, this program, I never give up on this program. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Auburn is a great place. So I'm excited to see what is to come.
Marcus, co-host of Water Cooler Talk Sports, he jumped in. He said he was asleep. He woke up from a nap. So I'm gonna give Marcus's thoughts on this, and I'm gonna bring in one guy that want to come in and say something then because we don't want to keep y'all too long because we know that there are that there are a lot of other details coming out. I do want to hit some details that can't be made public now. But go ahead, Marcus, with your thoughts.
Man, I fell asleep and woke up to a celebration, fellas. What's up?
Wow.
Dang, it feels like we won yesterday after that one. But I ain't trying to celebrate because he lost his job, but the buyout still coming his way, so I don't feel too bad. But yeah, man, it feels like Ted said, it feels like the AD hand was forced in this one because we all knew we were supposed to beat Kentucky, and the way we lost, you had to do something about it. We couldn't wake up this morning and nothing was done at this point. Like they would have set a bad example, especially the way the nature of college football is right now. They would have set a horrible example for our school culture. So at that point, it had to be done. I'm glad they finally did it. Like Ted says, I'm anxious to see what's to come for Auburn. Man, Nick popped the bottles past the Cabassier.
Who's still drinking Cavassier? I don't know.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Pass the Cabassier. Whatever we finna do tonight, pass the cigars. I'm sorry. It just had to happen.
Man, I just want to bring up Hugh Freeze's record. This is the Hugh Freeze era at Auburn. Overall record 15-19, SEC record 6-16, 9-9 at home. So he was 500 at home. On the road, 5-7. Against ranked opponents, 1-12 against ranked opponents. Did have 2 top 10 classes. We did make a bowl appearance his first year there, but we got blasted against Maryland. And then, of course, 2025 SEC offensive ranking this year, we are 15th in the conference in the offensive ranking this year. Details that we can now spill about the whole Hugh Freeze situation is that this was actually in the works since Missouri. And of that nature. I from what I heard and reading now that that has been kind of reported is that it was asked after the Missouri game to step down to come to a buyout agreement. It was something that Hugh Freeze refused to do. But now you looking at after last night, I guess they agreed to a reduced buyout for Hugh Freeze to step down as the head coach, was technically he's fired. Technically, that's what that means. But this is a day that a lot of people have been waiting on. A day that a lot of people are looking at and saying that why did it take so long to get here? But I'm gonna tell you one guy who is ready to. I don't know if he's gonna change his name or not. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he's gonna change his name, but I'm gonna tell you one guy
that's legendary.
That's ready to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Fire Freeze is in the chat. Fire Freeze, what's on your mind, Fire Freeze?
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Happy Sunday and praise God, everybody.
Fire Freeze. Before you go, Fire Freeze, I just got one question. Are you gonna keep the name or are you gonna change it?
I'll have to think on that.
Okay.
You remember when I came in here a few weeks back and I went, maybe it's time to get rid of John Cohen, and y'all kind of looked sideways at me?
I did. I was like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, I got similar things when I changed my name to Fire Freeze. Like, what? It's too early. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But John Cohen I'll use John Cohen's words. I expect my car to crank up when I go out there, but if it doesn't, I got to reevaluate. This car ain't cranked in 3 years. Right. You've been going out there and it's been stalling out every morning. And you're like, well, we started the works a couple of weeks ago. Well, it took you going out there and trying to crank the car. All 4 tires blew out. The engine caught on fire. You jumped out and it blew up. And then you finally went, we got to change the car. What do you mean? We begged him to step down. We wanted him, but he didn't agree. No, you walk in there, you're fired, you're done, go away. Do you got no balls? I mean, really? What's this? Come on, let's agree and let you save face and you just step down. Maybe we say it's the health problems or no. You walk in there, you go, you ain't got the job done. You're a pathetic excuse of employee. You're done. So John Cohen, it ain't maybe it's time to go. It's time to go. The president needs to look at John Cohen and go, yeah, you ain't doing a good job either. So maybe I changed my name to Fire Cohen. But
Ooh.
I mean, but seriously, I'm as mad, John. I mean, Freeze, I'm not really mad at him anymore. I knew he was a pathetic coach years ago because he's calling the exact same plays he called at Ole Miss. Everybody's caught on. Other people are successful with the concepts, but it isn't the same plays. It's just the concept. The concept's fine, but if you're calling the same play set, that they can look at, well, when he lined up his tight end at Ole Miss here, they're running this. And when he lines up that same tight end here at Auburn, they're running that same play. I mean, really. So that's what I had to say. I mean, Cohen took way too long. He didn't do what he needed to do. It's been obvious for a long time. And this whole, it comes out, oh, we asked him, but he refused.
That's interesting.
Have you ever been a boss?
For myself.
I mean, I've been a manager. I've had employees under me, and if they aren't performing, you got to get rid of them. You don't call them your office and go, "I'd like you to resign. Would you resign and make it easy on all of us?" No, you call them in there. I'm sorry, we've got to separate. I love you as a human being, but you can't work here. There's no negotiation with your employees. It's they're fired or they're not. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I'll let y'all get on with it.
Shout out to Fire Freeze, the most legendary name in the Auburn space, man.
Prophetic.
Shout out to Fire Freeze. James Barnett. Shout out to James. He had a question in chat because we got another guy that's gonna come in. I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear from him now and later on this afternoon. James Barnett said, fellas, how much time will the next coach get? Although Coach Hugh Freeze needed to go, no good coach is going to be fired in 2 to 3 years, especially in another rebuild process. Thoughts? I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they get 3 years again. I think in this time period of college football, with what we've seen from Mike Elko, I stated it this morning. What you seen from Mike Elko, what you seen from Kurt Cignetti, what you saw Dan Lanning do at Oregon. Like in this time period in college football, I think with the right coach, and Dustin alluded to this earlier as well. If you get the right coach with the right mindset, with the right culture that can build the right process, that have the right processes and everything, this could be turned around in a year. It could be turned around in a year. So I think with the transfer portal, NIL, recruiting, everything there, I think that this could be turned around in a year. I think it can. I mean, there have been I'm not gonna say too many, but there have been examples to where coaches have come in and within a year, definitely by year 2, teams have been exceedingly better than what they've looked like from the previous administration that was there. I think it can be done. So I think I'm on that same bandwagon. 3 years, return on my investment. As a guy, by year 3, if there's not a return on the investment, we might need to be looking in a different direction. If there's not provable statistical value of showing us that the team is getting better, we could clearly see on the field that Auburn was getting worse on the offensive side of the ball, but the defense was getting incrementally better. Y'all thoughts on that before I bring in our next guy?
I think it's important for everyone to have reasonable expectations. I think it's important for everyone to understand that in today's day and age of college football, that looks more and more like the NFL, that 8-4 is maybe what 9-3 used to be. Maybe even in some schedules, what 10-2 used to be. You know, I look at LSU and I say you should have fired Brian Kelly because of all of the toxicity that was involved. But just on a pure record standpoint, 9-4, 10-3, 9-4, and they were 5-3. Like, I know that they have high expectations there, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but the argument I would make to an LSU fan is, who are you going to get with playing the schedule that you play? That's going to do better than 10-3. That's probably a realistic zone for y'all to be in, right? So have realistic expectations of what Auburn can and should be. So in 3 years, to answer James' question, does that guy have to win the national championship in 3 years? No. But pay attention to the signs along the way. And use your eyes and eye test it, right? We're not firing Hugh Freeze today, and the fan base wasn't booing Hugh Freeze because he was in his 3rd year and Auburn hadn't made a playoff yet. It was very much because of New Mexico State, Cal, and then you go down the list, right? So, like, there were so many points that you could go back to throughout this Hugh Freeze tenure and say, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. So it depends on how it looks in those 3 years. If a new guy comes in next year and it goes 7-5, and we all look around and say, I think we got better this year.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think he got pretty close to what the talent was. And then the next year is 8-4. We say, you know what? Got better. And tough schedule. And I think that's probably about where the talent, like, it just depends on what it looks like. I think we can be realistic and still have reasonable expectations. And then still at the same time, hold guys accountable when they go 9-9 at home and 1-12 versus top 25s and 21, 28-point blowouts to, New Mexico State's one of the worst Division I programs of all time, man. Like save me, Diego Pavia and Kill and all that. Like, you missed me with all that. Okay. The talent gap, that excuse that was used that night was a red flag. And everything that happened that night was a red flag. So what does it look like in those 3 years? Because Gus Malzahn, if you go back to when Gus Malzahn was the OC at Auburn, you combine his time as OC at Auburn, he ran the Auburn offense outside of his 1 year at Arkansas State for over a decade. He got plenty of time. Auburn gave him all the time in the world to be in charge of calling plays at Auburn. Eventually, Auburn said, hey, man, 7 years in a row, you've lost at least 4 games. Might be time to make a move.
Yep.
So, Tuberville was what, 99 to 2008?
Yep.
The national media is going to come out today and say, look at Auburn. They fired Harsin before he made it through his 2nd year, and they fired Hugh Freeze before he made it through his 3rd year, and they're just super impatient down there. Don't be gaslit by that crap. Both of those guys earned their firing. Hugh Freeze earned what's coming to him today, and Auburn is a great job. The resources that were given to Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
I agree.
Perfect example is Texas A&M. They gave all the resources in the world to Jimbo Fisher. It didn't matter. He couldn't get it done. They've given all the resources in the world to Mike Elko. Look at him now.
Yep.
We gave all the resources in the world to Hugh Freeze. He can't get it done. But Auburn is still prepared to give all the resources in the world to the next guy. I have never been more confident as an Auburn fan, having just a little bit of inside knowledge that I have about what's going on behind the scenes. I have never been more confident that Auburn's going to be okay if they hire the right guy. Hiring a coach is hard, okay? Auburn might mess this one up too, because you can go back to, like, when A&M made that Jimbo hire.
Yep.
It looked like a pretty good hire. He had just won a natty at Florida State. They had no way of knowing what was coming down the pipe, that the game had passed him by, and that it was literally going to happen on their watch. It's hard. It's a very hard job. I don't envy the people that have to do it. All I'm here to say is, if they get this one right, Auburn will fly, man. And Auburn will fly quick, because in the portal, you don't have to wait like that. And again, I'm not saying Auburn's got to win the natty in year 1, year 2, or year 3 under the next guy. You just got to see a steady progression. And if you hire the right guy, it will happen at Auburn, and it will happen fast. I firmly believe that.
Yeah,
agree wholeheartedly. Ted's your thoughts on that, man, before we get our next guy in.
Man, I echo what Dustin said. You know, I said it 100 times, like, hiring a coach is not an exact science. We kind of sometimes reduce it to that, like, oh, this guy was successful here, he should be successful here. That's not really how it works. It's like, you kind of just, it's really, and I hate to say this, but, like, it's really kind of luck. You know, like, you kind of find the right guy at the right time for the right system, the right players, the right culture. It all kind of just lines up when it's done. You know, when you look at the great coaching hires, it's usually people that people didn't agree with in the beginning, right? When Mike Elko went to Texas A&M, what was the scrutiny? It was like, he's never done it in the SEC. What has he won? He's at Duke. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not this exact science. So, like you said, it's tough to be in a position to have to hire a coach. I think you just kind of go with a guy that fits. And man, Auburn does have all the resources in the world. Auburn is a great place. It just is, as far as the game day experience, as far as what these recruits see when they come into the building. All the resources, all of the way the fan base embraces these kids. Like, it's almost second to none. Like, you don't see that at a lot of schools, even the schools that are winning. You just don't see it. And that's why everybody's so excited about this, and I hate to use Hugh Freeze words, but just being so close, right? Just being so close, because we know that like all it takes is the right guy in the building, and this thing just goes, it just erupts, because everything is in place. Everything that you hear outside of winning, hear me out, outside of winning, everything that you hear other fan bases complain that their schools have a lack of, Auburn has. Right? You don't have to beg. We don't have to beg our fan base to come to games and stay at games. We never have to do that. They're going to come and show up regardless, right? Resources are plentiful there. Practice facilities are amazing. Like, when a parent brings their kid to Auburn on a visit, those parents fall in love with the place, because everything about it says like, this is a great place for my kid to not only play football, but the culture around it, even the city and the town is a great place for them to grow and flourish. Auburn has every single box checked except for the win column. And once that happens, you know, we think that this thing is going to explode. So it's always, you know, as fans, we're always going to be hopeful in Auburn. One of the things that, like Dustin said, hey, you don't have to win a natty in 2-3 years. And we talked about it, Nick, like with the playoff now, we may start judging coaches by Final Four appearances like they do in basketball. Like that's going to be a notch on your resume now. Like, did you make the Final Four? You know what I mean? You could become Bruce Pearl, so to speak. To be honest, you could be heralded as a coach that, you know, that you know, made some Final Fours and went deep in the playoffs a couple times, never won it, but you know, you still get respected on that level. So, man, I don't, like I said, I don't know what the exact. I got some candidates in mind that I would love, but I don't make millions of dollars to make those decisions. But I'm just glad that they saw that the direction that the school was going at this point was more detrimental than the money that they have to pay him. Right. It was going to cause more damage than whatever funds they have to issue out to him by keeping him along. And it's a lot of people worry about a bunch of money that they don't have to spend. Listen, we put a guy's name on the field. I don't know, but yeah. So, man, like I said, I don't want to be just super happy about a coach losing the job, but I think we all as fans know that what could possibly come from this. Like you said, all it takes is for them to you just got to be right once. That's all it takes. You just got to be right once. You get the right guy in here. And the next thing you know, we're having a completely different conversation next year. And you'd be surprised, man, like what a different voice in the locker room does. We saw it when Cadillac took over and how inspired that those kids came out there and played. We got 3 games left, 4-win team. Man, I don't want to start that, but I'm just saying, like, we got 3 games left. We got 4. If Durkin can come in here with a different voice and possibly steal one of these games, either Vandy or Bama, man, you're looking at a bowl game, and all of a sudden the trajectory of the program is headed in the right direction. Just like that. And I don't mean like it takes years. I mean it takes a week. You know what I mean? A week. If you can get some sort of offense together to put some drives together, like I think we have well enough defense to hang with anybody. Then you got an Iron Bowl, which is always a toss-up. You know, it's man, it's just one of those situations where I'm waiting to see how the kids respond. I'm waiting. This Vanderbilt game, I have never anticipated watching the Auburn football. Well, not this. I'm not gonna say never, but like this season, this is probably one of the games I'm more anticipated watching than ever. Like I want to see what this offense looks like with a different voice. I know what the defense is going to bring, and it's going to be against competition who I think is well coached. So, like, what do we look like? What do we look like now that everybody's gotten their wish? What do we look like? And it'll tell me a lot about what the kids thought about the direction that the team is going. It's how they play football in this game coming up.
Agree.
Yep.
Let's bring in Ant. Ant, we might be on the planes. Ant, maybe they'll respond to me now. Maybe they'll respond to me and we'll hear something. But Ant might be your next OC at Auburn. Ant, what's on your mind, my guy? What's on your mind, Ant? Ant, are you there?
Says his mic's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Jesus Christ, Ant. Wow, Ant.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
I gave you a whole nice intro, but Ant, what's on your mind?
I appreciate it, Nick, and I'm glad for that intro. Trick or treat. I told y'all.
We appreciate it, Ant. What's on your mind? We ain't got that much time, Ant, because we got to get off soon. But what's on your mind?
All I'm gonna say is I told y'all it's a way. Auburn find a way to lose the game, and it just be bad after that. I told y'all at the Missouri game they had the 15 mil ready.
Mm-hmm. You did.
They talked them into a way to keep it for one more game. They were going game by game basis, and he just happened to not do nothing this game. Look worse than A&M. Well, I guess
you did say that. I gotta get Ant his prop because Ant did say that. Ant did say after that game that they was looking to they was ready to make a difference. I don't know how Ant knew that, but Ant knew it. He said it. But shout out to Ant, man. Shout out to Ant.
We can go roll Toomer's corner now. War Eagle, everybody. I'm out.
Shout out to Ant.
Rant later on today.
We'll see you later on, Ant. We'll see you later. We got one more guy coming in. They call him Mr. Finally. Mr. Finally is coming into the chat. It's gonna be the last guy we take before we get out of here. We just want to get on real quick and break the we're not breaking the news, but we just reacted to it real quick. Because trust me, we got a whole week to talk about it. Mr. Finally, what's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, that's 21. What's going on, Ed? What's up, Ed?
Mr. 11 to Mr. Finally.
What's up?
Great. Just got home from church, man.
Oh, you just got home from church. Okay. Did you praise the Lord? Did you give him thanks?
Man, he answered.
Apparently he did.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just simple. It just needed to happen, man. Like you cannot win with bad foundation and culture. You just can't.
I agree.
It's impossible. So I don't, early in the week, people were talking about maybe trying to keep them on. It's like, man, it's just, you can't do it that way. So, not, kind of like what Ted says, it's good for the program. It's not good to see because of the coaches and the people that's involved. I'm not sure if we got any other news on O-line coach. That dude needs to be gone too, but hopefully we can hear something later. But, yeah, I'm just happy because I was not going to watch this weekend if he was still here. Because I can't support it. So
that's fair.
But yeah, at least I'm kind of like Tez, like you said earlier. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen. I'm not expecting fireworks or anything, but I do expect maybe seeing some more joyful, more teamness between the two sides, the offense and the defense, and everybody being together. That's what I'm hoping to see. So
they might start stretching together.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere, dog. Like, walking together, putting on your pads together. I don't know what was going on in that locker room. So I just know about ever since not day one, but early after giving him the job, Peyton Thorne, and not knowing timeout situations in the first year and all this other stuff. I'm like, this dude is not clued in. He ain't about that business about winning and trying to do this. So, the golf, tee times are available.
They are. They are available.
All day. So, yeah, man, that's all I got. Let y'all go, man.
All right, then. Shout out to Ed.
I'm gonna have a new name. I don't know what it's gonna be though. So
okay. Yeah, because we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But shout out to Ed, man. Appreciate you, my guy.
Ed.
All right, man. So we wanted to just get on here and react to this news as it happened. Kind of knew this was coming last night, but couldn't really say nothing. But It happened. I was surprised that it happened today. Even though it was talked about I thought it would be another week of Hugh Freeze, to be completely honest with you.
Boy, I started getting nervous. I started getting nervous around
too.
this. I'm all right, bro.
I did
What
too.
is
I
going
did too.
on?
I did too. I started getting nervous. I was like, we might see him.
I
try out there
kind
for Ben.
of knew better this time. 3 points against Kentucky at the house. Like Ted said, if that wasn't a fireable offense, the AD should have been going right along with him.
Yeah, it
This
was
is true.
but it was still that,
time.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, hey, will they or won't they? Will he or won't he? So you know what it is, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Trust me, this week we're gonna be doing a lot of shows about.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna be putting our boards together, who we think should be the coach, who we like, swinging for the big fences and everything, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. So please make sure that you subscribe over here to Water Cooler Talk Sports. All of those that are watching over on at its SEC Season, make sure you subscribe over there as well. If you over here watching at Water Cooler Talks, go subscribe to SEC Season. If you over on SEC Season, come over here and subscribe to Water Cooler Talk as well. Also, man, make sure that you subscribe to these YouTube channels in these streets as well at its SEC Season, at Tight Sports, Alabama Football Megacast, at Auburn_Addicts TV, which we will be on later on this afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. We will be over there with Auburn Addicts DC. Up Tempo Podcast, what I got Dustin. Be Sharp over at the Sharpshooter Sports Talk. The Golden Broom Podcast with Vandy Chris, at the Huggy Beard himself on YouTube, and at the Huggy Beard on Twitter. Bubba and the Old Man Auburn Sports Talk on Facebook. JMHO Sports Talk with Coach Sean on YouTube, and On the Block Sports with Coach Carl. So please, man, make sure that you subscribe to those guys over there as well. And the last image of one Hubert Freeze walking off the field at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That picture sums it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. The end.
Play that Chris.
That hoodie's fire though.
That is a dope hoodie. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I wonder, is he gonna keep all his Auburn gear? Like, do you think he's gonna keep the gear?
No, he should.
You don't think
he
so?
shouldn't even be allowed to.
Well,
his daughter goes to school, right? So they probably
his daughter graduated from Auburn. Like, I think both his daughters graduated from Auburn.
Yeah, he gonna have some stuff laying around.
That is a dope hoodie. Hey,
he should only have to wear Under Armour. Like, let's go.
That is funny. That is funny. Oh man, shout out Hugh Freeze, man. We appreciate you on the recruiting tip. On the coaching side, yeah, we desire more, on the coaching side. But that is the last photo, the last picture of one Hugh Freeze as he walks off the stadium, out of the stadium at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That is the last scene of Hugh Freeze at Auburn, man. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all so much. Catch us this afternoon, 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, over on Auburn Addicts TV, man. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that a lot more, man. But we'll see y'all then, man. Until then, y'all have a good one. Y'all be great. We appreciate y'all so much, man. It's coming. It's coming. Get ready for the content. Dustin, what y'all got going on? Dustin, before we do that, I kind of messed that. I kind of messed that outro up, but I don't care. Dustin, what you got? What are you gonna be talking about this week on Up Tempo?
Well, later in the week, we're gonna do something that we haven't got to do in like 3 weeks. We're gonna look at Vanderbilt stats, and we're gonna talk about a football game.
Yes,
and that will be really exciting.
Yes, it will be.
But we have been having this conversation for what feels like forever, so we'll round that out. Since I get off here, I'm gonna, hop over and record my episode. Might pop over with Mike and Ike and the boys over there on the Warport, see what they're talking about. So, I'm gonna spend probably the next 72, 96 hours talking about Hubert Freeze.
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna tell everybody that will listen to me, Auburn gonna be okay. If they hire the right guy, right? Like, I don't know, if they mess it up, then we'll have the same conversation again in 3 years, and I don't want to do that. But Auburn, everything is in line if they hire the right person for Auburn to take off and to take off quick. Hopefully they get it right. I stand by what I said with you on the post game last night, Nick. People are going to ask us about names. They want names. Give me a name, Dustin. Give me a name. Look, I'm not interviewing these guys, okay? So my names don't make a shit. I'm looking at mindset, requirement. Auburn needs a dog. Auburn needs a dog mentality. So they interview him. Y'all vet him. But whoever it is, they can keep their excuses at the door because the last 2 head coaches have had nothing but excuses. Talk a big game, swing a light stick. I'm tired of that. I want somebody that comes around that means what he says, that talks the talk, and then backs it up. And it's up to the people that vet these guys and do this process. It's on them. They got to get it right. We're not sitting down with them as fans. But one thing I can tell you, after watching what I've seen the last 5 years of loser-ass mentality on the Plains, that has to be attacked directly. Mm-hmm. Whoever they hire has to come in and directly attack. Scheme, all the football stuff. Sure, absolutely. But this loser mindset that is poisoned the Plains has to be rooted out, man. That's what I'm looking for, a winner. A guy that means the stuff he says.
Yep. I agree. Tez, tell us about this thumbnail right here, sir.
Yeah. Working on the episode, man, where we're gonna have a really, really nuanced conversation about the effects of ESPN and Disney on college sports. We're gonna get in depth with it, man. From the network disputes to all the way down to NIL. So you won't want to miss this one. Make sure you subscribe and set your notification bell so that you don't miss out on this one. I don't know if it's gonna come. It'll come sometime this week. Because I want to make sure everything's in place so that it turns out to be a good episode and we can actually have a good conversation on it. But also, I do want to thank the SEC officiating. Right, I was mad at you guys. I really was. I was really pissed when you guys missed all those calls against Auburn, costing us those football games. But I don't know if we'd have got this result today if we were 6-2. So, yeah, so I thank you guys. I think you had just as much as a hand in this as Hugh had himself. So I appreciate you for that.
There it is, man. Shout out to that, man. Be on the lookout for that, man. Appreciate Dustin so much for rocking with us. And one last time, ladies and gentlemen, the final image of one Hugh Freeze walking off the field, Pat Dye Field, Jordan Hare Stadium, the end. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna see you later. Y'all take it easy. And War Eagle, we are out.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.